visiting JJ House of Ribs and more. I'm Bishop Jerome Jones, and I am so delighted that you have taken the opportunity, the time out of your schedules to kind of visit with us here on our website. I want to take time to talk to you about what's really behind JJ's House of Ribs and more. Many of you are aware, if you've been on Facebook, you've been following us throughout the last few years, know that we're involved in a ministry, and our ministry is JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries and Academic School. We are a nonprofit corporation here in Florida. We currently are assisting men that are coming home from the Department of Corrections that many times have nowhere else to go as it relates to housing, men that needs jobs, men that needs education, men that needs a life coach to help them transition from the Department of Corrections back in the community, as well as to help them on in the establishment of their economic lives and their social lives and their spiritual development throughout the months and years to come. So JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries was birthed with the burden for, out of the burden for the men and women that we have seen over the years come home from prison and end up going back or come home from prisons and not have the support groups, not have the kind of help that they need to have, should have, or that would enhance greatly their opportunity to succeed. So after having looked upon this problems for a number of years with that burden in our heart, the Lord just inspired us to just take action, to actually do something. And so sitting in church one day while our pastor was preaching, he was talking about some new chairs that we had added new chairs to the sanctuary. And he says God spoke to him and said, you got to make room for the harvest. And out of that ministry, the Lord by the Spirit spoke to me and says, you got to make room, you got to get prepared, you got to go forward. And I left that service that day with the ambition to execute what God had impregnated in my heart. And so God since then just opened up the doors, and he gave us a little apartment to get started in, and we started there and started taking in men from Sumter County, or from Lake County, Marion County, and started going into the prisons. We were going into the prisons already, teaching, instructing with a program called Extreme Solutions, where the founder and director is Pastor Blaine Witt, and they're based out of Ocala. And so as we continue to go in, and we kind of head up a team that goes in 4 nights a week for 2 hours plus each night, and teach these men and women how to identify themselves in Christ, how to get themselves prepared for the date that they're going to be released, and renew their mind so that they don't go back to that same old mindset. And with renewing their mind, we talk about how they need to renew their acquaintances, their associates, and the things around them, the people around them, the environment. And so they many times have been in our program a year or 2 years or 3 years before they're released. And we started that providing housing for them, because we recognize that aftercare is so critical to their success. We can go inside and do a lot of things in the prisons there, but they're still in that protected, restricted environment there, and don't have to make all the choices that they're going to have to make once they get out. So once they get out, they really need aftercare, and that's critical. That's almost like somebody being thrown into the intensive care unit. They need critical attention when they get out. And so that's what JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries and Academic School was birthed to supply, to provide. And so by the grace of God, we are so thankful to be connected to a wonderful church where we are able to be fed, we're able to grow spiritually, and we're just able to be encouraged. And I want to thank God for my pastor, Pastor Terry. Is just a wonderful man of God, Pastor Mike, Pastor Tim, and their wives, and it's just a tremendous blessing to serve under these men of God that love God, that have God's heart in their heart. So we're just so grateful, and through this experience, we started taking in men, and my assistant Moses Hughes is the assistant director for JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries, and we just started making providing rather a room, a bed, not a whole room, but just a bed. And we started with several people in one room, and all of us lived in the same place. And and God just blessed as we continued to provide a safe environment for these guys to be in that was unlike what they were accustomed to being in, or unlike what they were accustomed to going back to when they got out. So we were able to sow some seeds and plant some seeds of ministry in their lives even further. And so what we are doing today, this website that you're on right now, is a subdivision of JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries and Academic School. It's a part of our business division. And that is because of the need that we have for these men to get gainfully employed so that they can be self-sufficient. That's the goal here, is to bring these men and women to self-sufficiency, where they don't have to be dependent upon the government, dependent upon their mom, dads, their wives, or their husbands, or anyone for that matter, so that they can really be gainfully employed, earn respectful income, and do those things that are necessary for them to live a productive life, while at the same time making a very positive contribution to the community in which they live. That's what JJ House of Ministry is all about. So because of many of the guys' record and the climate that is many times among employees, or employers rather, it is kind of difficult many times for them to get jobs. We've been so blessed to have some fine Christian men and women that works along with the prison ministry, and they have their own businesses and have given and extended jobs to men that are coming home from the Department of Correction, and that is a blessing. And I want to thank God for these companies and these owners that have so diligently done so, and there are some that goes into the prison and teach as well and instruct, part of the team, attend the Father's house. So we're grateful, but we need more. We need more godly men and women that are business owners to say, God gave me another chance, I'll give them a chance. We just need that. It's so difficult for them to get a place to stay because they have to put on the application that they're a felon, and communities don't want them there. It's so difficult for them to get a job because when they say they're a felon, they don't get consideration. And so if these men and women cannot find a place to stay, and they cannot find gainful employment, what is there left for them to do but the criminal world that they are coming out of? So we're going to say to you, that's what is behind JJ House of Ribs. We are providing this website in hopes that you that are coming to this site will become a customer of JJ House of Ribs and more. Just by becoming a customer that places an order with us once a month, a minimum of one time a month, we're looking for 300 customers that will say, we will purchase some type of food once a month from JJ's House of Ribs and more. That will enable us to help these men and women with jobs, because many times they're able to come out and start working and do these jobs. The JJ House of Ribs will be an employer. It would also help them be able to have that self-esteem raised about themselves, and it would help us as a ministry director to be able to provide the housing, to provide the education, to provide job training and jobs and spiritual growth and development and life coaching. It will enable us to be able to provide these services to all that come out of the Department of Corrections to our ministry. So we're not a ministry that's funded by any state or federal funds. We're funding this as we go, working a regular job just like you would be working on, and we just work to support this work. So we are also going to do the cooking and the business of the catering company, JJ House of Ribs and more. So we're asking you to browse this website, but there's something bigger behind this website than a rib dinner, a chicken dinner, a fish, or a great tasting pie. Every time you make a purchase, we all eat perhaps every day. And what I'm asking you to do is to consider getting one of your meals out of the month from JJ's House of Ribs. Just one. And if you'll do that, and you'll tell somebody else about that, tell somebody else to do likewise, pass it on. If you'll do that, we will prepare that meal for you. You can get a delivery right to your job, right to your door on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. That's every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have a wonderful list of pies. All of these are homemade pies. The food will be very good. But as I said earlier, there's something much bigger behind JJ House of Ribs and more than the food. You just think you would be helping us provide housing, provide education, provide the jobs and job training and spiritual growth and development and ongoing life coaching to these men and women that doesn't even know where to start on their own when they're just put out or released. I'm going to be posting some testimonies over at our mother website, JJ House of Reconciliation Ministries and Academic School, so that you can read some of the testimonies, and we're going to also do some video testimonies so that you can read what is really happening with these men and women that is coming out, how we are able to see the transformation taking place in their lives. I want you to know that not only can I talk about this from this position, but over 40 some years ago, I was one of these men. I was one of those men that just like them. And since then, I've traveled all over America. I've been preaching the gospel around this country for 35, 40 years. I've been in 8 foreign countries preaching. I've met with I've had the privilege of meeting with presidents, being at the ambassadors. I've had the privilege of being the keynote speaker at the House of Representatives. I've had such privilege, and that's all since I got released 40 some years ago. And on top of that, I'm still married to the same wonderful woman, Dolores Jones, for the past 45 years. We've raised 3 children of our own and 14 adoptees. We know the goodness of the Lord, and I'm in a wonderful Bible-believing church that continues to cover us, and we're just so thankful. We're asking you that the men that we're helping, the women that we will help, perhaps they are another Bishop Jones. I have made all those things achievements after my troubled days of my youth. And I'm saying to you, wherever you are, ask God, would he be pleased if you become a customer of JJ House of Ribs and more, and make a purchase from us, at least one purchase per month. You'll be doing a great work, and we would greatly appreciate it. I'm Bishop Jones. This is JJ House of Ribs and more, and I'm saying have a blessed day.